So on today's show, we talk about boring policy stuff. Womp womp. Haha, just kidding. There are literally thousands of Epstein emails. Stay tuned. Hello, hi, welcome back to Even More News, the first and only news podcast. My name is Katie Stoll.
Hello, Katie Stoll. No comment. I'm Cody Johnston.
No comment. Cody Johnston is here and very excited. It's been a minute since we've had this guest join us. Writer, comedian, Some More News contributor, and host of Going Down with Ella Yurman. It's Ella Yurman.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so thrilled to be here.
We've missed you. We're happy to see you.
Yeah, of course.
Jonathan is also here.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun week to be here, Ella.
The news is just so endless all the time is sort of my feeling these days.
It's super fun. I sometimes, since we do the Monday show, which to you at home, it's the Tuesday show. Sometimes on Tuesday, I'm like, are we going to have new things to talk about? And without fail, Tuesday night to Wednesday, it's like a crushing barrage of news. But before we get to the news, we do have holidays, folks, and they are holidays. Friday, November 14th is National Family PJ Day. That's weird. I'm a little allergic to family PJ. No, I'm not. If I had a kid, maybe I'd want us to all dress up matching, but like,
Yeah, it's like families do it.
It's cute. You're right. It's cute.
How else are you going to escape the Nazis? That's what the Sound of Music is about.
You know what? That is such a good point. I hadn't thought about it like that. I'm in.
There is that that viral video from like 12, 13 years ago, the Christmas Jammies family.
Dancing in the front yard night and day, and the neighbors walk by and this is what they say.
Are these Christmas jammies?
They are Christmas jammies.
They had like a moment and they sang this song about Christmas Jammies and went on like Good Morning America about it. And after a week, you're like, I don't want to see, like, they're nice people. I don't want to see the Christmas Jammies family ever again. And they kind of ruined the concept.
That vibe is kind of what I'm talking about. Yeah. But you know what? It's cute. To my friends at home
family.
With your Christmas pants.
They tried to do some more like sequels to the song.
Only do more. They
still do?
They do song parodies and songs like the Christmas Jammies all the time. They're called the Holderness family.
The Holderness family, that's right.
How do you remember this so specifically?
Because they made a bunch of songs that bothered me. And
that's beautiful, because if something like that were to happen nowadays, they'd have maybe 45 minutes of fame and then be swept under the rug by the next horrible TikTok family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they're sticking with it. Also, they got in under the wire where they don't need to have any sort of political affiliation or cultural signifiers.
Sure.
They're just like, no, we're just a family. We just do songs about how we love our dog. That's it.
They don't need to dump beef tallow on their heads at the end of
None of that. It's just straightforward.
They don't have to participate.
Weird Al type parodies of songs.
We used to be a real country.
Proper country.
Yeah. Yeah, the good old days.
Embarrassing. Shameful.
I want to harken back to Monday. I feel like I called it. I don't know if it made it into the show. I didn't really call it. It should be obvious. The one thing about this government shutdown ending, I was like, well, maybe we'll get Epstein back in the conversation again, finally.
That was the threat.
It's been months. Yeah. And then the next day it happened. It really did. It happened. Jonathan, what happened?
The House Democrats had the same idea you did, Katie. It was timed up very well with the shutdown ending and Adelita Grijalva being sworn in as the 218th signature on the discharge petition. The House Democrats released 3 email conversations between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jeffrey Epstein and Michael Wolff, the journalist / / PR guy for Jeffrey Epstein, as we find out.
Pedophile PR, yeah.
These, like, they released these 3 specific ones, and then in retaliation / response, the House Republicans released 23,000 emails, which gave everyone a lot to comb through, much of which is innocuous and much of which doesn't look good for lots of people, not just President Trump. Lots of people come away not looking great in these emails. So let's read a few of them.
Let's do that.
So in 2011, which was before Trump is in politics, really, and after Epstein has already served his term as part of or his sentence as part of the sweetheart deal, he emails Ghislaine Maxwell, I want you to realize that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Virginia Giuffre, spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned, police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. And then Ghislaine Maxwell replies, I have been thinking about that. Which at first blush, there's several ways to interpret this. I happen to believe that Epstein is surmising that maybe Trump is the guy who turned him in and tipped off the Palm Beach police, since he, as the dog that hasn't barked, has not been brought up in any of these investigations whatsoever. But you could have another interpretation that he's, spending hours with a girl in his home.
Oh, and he seems like he's at least insinuating, okay, Virginia spent hours at my house with him, and they talked, and then Trump turned him in or tipped them off, right? That's the implication of the email, it seems. Mm-hmm. I believe that Trump knew about it. I'll say that.
And that he spent hours at his house with Virginia.
Who says that he never did anything to her, right? She always said that, I didn't see Trump do anything. And
perfect gentleman. She also said that she had never seen Trump and Epstein together in the house.
I mean, obviously her testimony is there's obviously been some covering up. We already know that because we have seen Trump and Epstein pictures of them together. Oh,
well, I think she was referring to.
You meant specifically at the house.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. If you get really specific with it, you don't have to incriminate yourself.
You don't have to incriminate
I never saw them together on the front lawn.
Then the other emails that the Democrats released were both with Michael Wolff, who wrote a tell-all book about Trump and was a journalist. In December 2015, which was the morning of a Republican primary debate that Trump was going to be in, Michael Wolff said, hey, Jeffrey, you might come up. I have word that they're going to ask Trump about you tonight. And Jeffrey Epstein's like, what response would be crafted for Donald Trump if you were crafting a response? And he writes, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. Which certainly seems to indicate that he was on the plane and at the house.
I wonder how Epstein must have felt when he realized that this guy he had all this blackmail on was going to be the president of the United States. That must have been a very exciting moment for him,
or terrifying.
Or terrifying, but he has all of this. He clearly has all of this leverage on Trump, and for suddenly this shitty business guy that you've been friends with and letting into your home with underage women suddenly is going to be the president. That must. I don't know. I know we were all shocked when Trump won, but it must have been a special moment.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like the dream for a guy like him, right? It's like, all the things I've been doing to compromise people and get dirt on people, I now have the president. Potentially.
But it's like a double-edged sword because they had been enemies for the previous decade. They were friends throughout the 90s and the early aughts. Then this real estate deal, Trump wins, and Epstein and Bill Pulte's dad lose. And all of a sudden they don't like each other anymore. So
right. Oh yeah, it's been soured for a long time.
He certainly doesn't seem excited about the prospect of Donald Trump winning throughout these. It certainly seems like he's saying this guy is a bad person. Maybe not, but that's what it feels like to me.
Well, also, if your old best friend who you think is an idiot suddenly became like an Oscar-winning actor, you'd be like, "What the hell?
I'd be so
really
mad.
that person?"
Right,
that's
Like he's
true.
probably
That
jealous and
motherfucker.
angry. Yeah, it's like this guy.
If a pedophile is going to be the president, it should be me. Like that's
Right.
Also, I mean, obviously, we alluded to this, but just sort of Michael Wolff being like, "Here's what you got to do, my buddy," is really, really weird.
That one's a little confusing to me because it's like, what do you mean? What should he say if asked about you? You guys aren't
just
informing him.
him giving him advice is just odd, given the context and the knowledge and the admissions that Epstein has made to Wolff himself, and clearly they know what they're alluding to, right?
Oh yeah.
Because in the email, he's like, well, if he says he hasn't been on the plane or the house, then you have this opportunity and so on. So like they know, and it's just I find it pretty distasteful, I guess is the polite way to say it, that he's giving Epstein this like PR advice in this email.
It's very shocking. I know that he served his sentence, and that what even was that sentence? He got to work from his prison and all of that, whatever. But all these emails, people are so buddy with him well after his reputation has been completely destroyed. We haven't talked about these Kathy Rumler emails yet, which we'll get to, but honestly, it's not flirtatious, but almost. And it's like it just blows my mind that people have this kind of rapport with this monster. You know,
Lots of
it's just shocking to
people
me.
were still fine with being friends
Yeah,
with
they were.
him. Like he got this deal. He was still kind of in the world. Peter Thiel admitted it on Rogan a couple months ago when he's like, well, yeah, like he's just this great tax guy and like he was going to help with all this financial stuff. And then Rogan tried to give him an out by saying like, yeah, but you didn't know about anything. And Peter Thiel was honest and said, no, this was after we knew he was a sex pest.
When you were introduced to him, how was he described to you?
He was described as one of the smartest tax people in the world.
Interesting.
And I probably was my moral weakness that I.
Well, how
like
could
paying
you have known
taxes.
back then? He had never been arrested.
No, this was 2014. It was post arrest.
Oh, so his arrest was the first arrest, right?
Yeah,
Which was like 2000.
07, 08.
Okay.
You know, they're just like he's emailing with Kathy Rumler, who was a former White House counsel for Obama and is a current Goldman Sachs executive or Goldman Sachs counsel. They're just writing back and forth, and she's writing to Epstein like Trump is so gross, and he's writing back worse in real life and up close. Like you're emailing with Jeffrey Epstein saying, hey, this other guy
This
is
guy is so
extremely
gross. The
He's the
grossest
worst,
man
yeah.
in the world. You're
Not that
thanks.
he's not like the
Right,
grossest
but like,
guy in the world,
thanks
but-
for your assessment of this guy's like moral, like vigor, Jeffrey Epstein. Like, I don't care.
I mean, this is not an original observation, but it's remarkable how like QAnon for years has been beating the drum of like if you put all the letters backwards and upside down and you read it through a red filter, you can see coded language. That proves they're raping children, but no, they're just saying it in like emails.
they
It's
email
just
each
business
other about
emails.
it.
Yeah, like with no coded language. They're like, yeah, Donald Trump, he's gross. We don't like him because of the girls.
Yeah, the allusions, he frequently in these emails makes casual allusions to the stuff he used to do.
That he used to do. Yeah.
With people who seemingly were not involved in that. In one of these emails with Kathy Rumler from 2014, she uses the word girls in this totally innocuous way. Or like, what did I do to deserve to be one of these girls or something like that? And Epstein responds, girls, careful, I will renew an old habit. What?
Dude.
It's so. It makes my stomach drop.
Yeah, he's
And
disgusting.
then someone's just got to be like, ah ha ha ha
Yeah.
ha.
Totally.
Funny joke.
Totally.
Thank you, Slugman.
Yeah.
Because of when you raped children.
It's wild.
Yeah,
And
remember
Uh-huh.
that thing that I did? Like, bananas, a feeling of you're insulated from everything, you're super powerful, I can joke about this. And who knows, Kathy Rumler maybe tells her friends, like, ugh, I'm friends with Jeffrey Epstein. And yeah, but like, look at what he's saying to me.
Yeah.
Maybe there's
Yeah.
some. Yeah, maybe there. We don't. I don't know. There seems to be a lot of back and forth, but
I mean, she's coming on Monday, so we can ask her. But
Oh,
yeah.
perfect.
we
perfect.
can just
Well,
ask her.
Perfect.
It is.
Tell her I'm a fan.
So creepy,
It's Goldman
though.
Sachs week next week on
Oh, fun for everybody. It really gives me the creeps to think about the psyche of this man. I don't even need to go to speculate about Kathy or whatever. To have so calculated for so long in your abuse, in your crimes, and to be so jokey and cavalier about it, to essentially admit that you haven't grown, or maybe there's no remorse there at all. It's sickening.
It's rich monster stuff. They're not all like pedophile sex traffickers, but they're all like that. They get away with the thing. They're not gonna they feel like they're insulated, and they have, well, if this person is rich, has influence, can get me something that I need, then I'm going to not care about these things. Even like, I mean, obviously this is not the exact same thing, but that Joe Rogan clip, the Thiel thing, it's like, if it was reported that Peter Thiel had contacts with Jeff Epstein after all the stuff had already been revealed, Rogan would call that fake news. But when Peter Thiel tells him to his face, he's like, wow, cool, I guess. Am I supposed to think that you're brave? I guess I think you're brave for doing that.
Well, because he's like, well, yeah, like he promised to make me, the billionaire, slightly more rich, and that's justification.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
I do want to call out something that, these. I won't say these emails make Trump look good by any stretch. He clearly knew for a long time what his buddy Jeffrey Epstein was up to. He maybe tipped off the Palm Beach police at some point. He maybe asked Ghislaine to stop poaching his spa attendants for this little disgusting project that Epstein had.
Yeah.
But
and like got his like post girlfriends. They talk about how like, oh yeah, he'd like date these underage girls.
Totally
rape these young girls, and then like when they like turn like 21, he'd be like, okay, now Trump gets them, I guess.
Totally. Like, it's gross, disgusting stuff that clearly tells us more about Trump that we already know. But it seems like it's a much bigger story than it would be than if they just released everything. And so it begs, or it raises the question, why is Trump still fighting so hard to stop the release of other stuff? What else?
Like, what can there be?
Right.
Yes.
Even
That's
these
worse.
emails, the emails are like you're saying, like, yeah, they give a window into this world and these relationships and stuff. But like the birthday card is worse. To me, in my mind, like that birthday card is the most damning piece of evidence I've seen. Even though it's not him, he didn't make it, it's fake or whatever. But like that birthday card is
Case closed.
We're done. We're done here. We've done it. But yeah, these emails are interesting, but like, I mean, there are Republicans who would like the release of all these more files. We finally swore in the final member of Congress, but during all of this, Trump was panicking and calling Nancy Mace and talking and trying to get a hold of Lauren Boebert, or the reverse. He was trying to get a hold of Nancy Mace, talk to Lauren Boebert, begging her to take your name off the petition. Don't do this. He's trying to get all of these people to not release these. Why? If this is it, why do you care?
This is showing documentation of just how much he did know, and that he spent time with Virginia, that, just debunking some of the claims that they have made, over the past however many years. But it should be landing with people that, like, I believe that there's far worse, but this is bad enough because Trump knew, and for a long
shared a
time,
wonderful secret.
And the only reason he potentially, maybe he did turn in Epstein, seems likely, over this real estate deal, whatever. They had their rich boy falling out, but he knew, and he helped keep it a secret. So he's at the very least an accomplice to this, But he probably got some sort of fucking great deal for himself. And that is what he is afraid of being revealed. And an innocent man doesn't panic and have a fucking meeting in the Situation Room to try and mitigate the obvious thing that was going to happen once the shutdown was over. We all knew this was the next step.
If he found out about this and then told the authorities, that's an easy to tell story.
Easy.
Very easy.
He's a
cut
hero.
and dry. I found out about it and I was disgusted, and so I told the authorities and I helped them in any way I could. When the actual story is probably closer to, well, the walls were closing in and I got like some people made some comments at the club or whatever, and I agreed to tell them everything I knew, which was a lot because I was involved and I was there. Like, you don't tip them off in this way unless you have information because you were present or involved in some way. Or he would just say, yeah, I found out about it and let him know, and I'm the hero in this story. I'm the QAnon that everyone's been telling you about.
Right.
I'm the
Why
person.
is he not saying that if that's anywhere close to what it was?
He didn't even say that about the Mar-a-Lago thing. He didn't even say like, oh, I found out he's doing this, and so I kicked him out. It's like, no, he was like stealing my employees is how he said it.
Yeah.
So like, why are you talking about it like this? Is it just that his brain is broken, or is it maybe something to do with that fucking card about how enigmas never age? I don't know.
Do you think it'll matter in the end when the, like, I know he's obviously acting different about this information than other stuff, but I do worry we're doing another version of that tweet from 2017 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to see Donnie wriggle out of this one. Like, I don't know. I grapple with this when I write for Somewhere News, and I grapple with it on my show as well, of like, so much of what we do is exposing hypocrisy, and obviously like Trump ran on like exposing the deep state and getting rid of the pedophiles, and now it's like about to come out that he is one of the big main pedophiles. Like, will anyone care? Does it matter anymore?
I think
this one might.
I think with this issue, enough people will care. Like, you know, like even like the Boeberts and the like Marjorie Taylor Greene like doing the wind check, right? Like, she knows where things are headed, it seems, and I think that if it is more egregious than it already is, and there is stuff that he's like, I don't want people to see this, I feel like enough people would care about it. But also, maybe not.
It might not, but I think that there's enough people that won't let it slide, that it's like that then the other people will
right
finally be like, oh, this is unacceptable, we can't blah blah blah. But they've known this whole time. We've all known this information. Isn't surprising. It's not surprising to any of us. We knew it then. We knew it in 2020. We knew it in this last election. It's not a shock. So people might finally pull their heads out of their butts. Like, you know,
it's this or the economy.
Let's say the House like votes, and which I don't quite understand why the Democrats can release some emails willy-nilly, and these other files we have to do an insane vote referendum on. But let's say the vote passes and like the next week, and then it goes to the Senate and it passes. Like, what happens? Do we like
Trump vetoes it?
They impeached?
Well, right. Like, that's what I'm curious about, because if he thinks there's something in there that absolutely cannot come out, he will have to veto it. And maybe all of this posturing and trying to stop the discharge petition is because he knows it'll look really bad if he vetoes just releasing the Epstein files, which he campaigned on a little bit. And then his whole team talked about doing. But if he thinks that there's something in there that's just so bad it cannot come out, he will veto it. And then that's the end, unless somehow it
we get
creates
two-thirds.
such a groundswell that we get 2/3 of both branches of like, that's just doesn't seem right now politically like it would happen. So if he doesn't want it to come out, it won't come out. But a veto would look pretty bad, right?
It would look pretty bad. It might galvanize people more. It might make even more people go like, wait.
It'll really
what?
hurt his re-election chances.
It'll hurt his re-election chances.
More than the collapsing economy will.
And the constitutional sections that say he's not allowed to run.
No. We don't read that part.
Captain History over here.
What a drag.
I'm envisioning a world like, let's say I don't know, we do get 2/3 and all of the files come out. There's something in there that's so damning he can't wriggle his way out. What do the rest of the Republicans, like, what happens, you know? Like, do they learn anything from this? Is there any... the whole party is based around this one guy right now. I'm just struggling to envision a world where, now that the Republicans are turning on each other, I just don't know what the outcome, what does Boebert want to happen?
I think they're all assessing things. They don't know.
Part of it is they're assessing things. A few of them, I do think there's a sense of like, they kind of do know. Like, I think that some of them get a sense or have seen something that's like, he's probably did it. He's probably like implicated in this, and that does not sit well with them. That's my hope, at least. I don't know. Maybe it's all just calculation, and they're like, oh wow, people are turning against Trump. But like, this is potentially an issue that can disgust people. If you see the right thing, right? If you see something that's like, oh yeah, he did it. That's disgusting. I can't do this anymore.
It should.
And they're trying to figure out a way to push.
They're trying to figure out if they need to fall on that bomb or not, or if they should. They're trying to figure out if the president's going to be successful.
Right. They want to survive. They want to survive the political landscape.
Right.
Because it's not even about Donald. Right now, it's about Donald Trump. But who's next? What's the thing about MAGA and the
Nick
Conservative
Fuentes,
Party right now?
baby.
Well, right. This is comprised of a wildly different, and so is the left, the Democrats. I feel very little in common with many Democrats politically. Well, that's our side, whatever. But MAGA, what is it? There's some very disparate groups here that want different things and it's coming to a head now because he cannot please them all. And this is going to be a big rift. I think this will enable a lot of people to split away if it's allowed to progress farther enough. But I think there's just all of these conservative Congress people are waiting to see whether or not they need to make a grandstand, make a big, or if they fail, then they're in his crosshairs.
Yeah, because the only thing Trump was able to do is unite everybody because he makes libs mad, right? Like his like function is make the libs mad and crush the left. That's his job. And that's why he was able to gather like, oh, Stephen Miller and RFK Jr. Why not? All these different people who have these different little issues, and they've all like gathered around him. And then as he slowly dies in front of us, that is falling apart, and we're seeing that, and it's
so bizarre. Yeah. Because I do think of sometimes I think about the Republican Party as much better at long-term planning than the left. They've spent like decades stacking the lower courts and running all these primaries, and yet they've also sort of hinged their entire movement on this one 80-year-old guy who is like going to, even if the Epstein stuff doesn't get him, he's gonna die soon. Like, what happens to their movement?
We've been talking about this a lot lately, actually. We'll do it. We're going to do a whole episode probably about this because there's so many different ways it could go, because it is that you spent 10 years about this guy and he's incredibly off-putting and people don't really like him, even though he won twice. And then, I mean, without his uncanny ability to not face consequences and to brush off every single scandal and every like offhand comment, everyone around him sucks and is weird.
Right. It can't be Vance.
They can't do that. Like Vance can't thrive. I don't think Vance can thrive without Donald Trump counterbalancing that.
But if he's propped up by the rich people that got Vance there in the first place,
sure.
Like he's being propped up by tech oligarchs that wanted him there. So, that gives me pause because they also own our social media platform.
Oh, yeah. They're not going to abandon him quickly. Yeah.
I'm not going to die in the hill that this is definitely bringing him down. But you see the cracks, and maybe we'll have time to get to some of it. We referenced it earlier this week. He is throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks, to try to please people, and nothing is working. It's a joke.
Like the question of like with the Epstein stuff, what will they do? And I do hope that enough people will be like, oh, you're a disgusting monster. We cannot have you involved in anything anymore. But a lot of people will just figure out a way to talk about it in a way that you can brush it off. There's Megyn Kelly, for example, has been on a bit of a tear lately in a lot of different ways. One of her guests was Batya Ungar Sargon, And she was talking about this, kind of like we were saying earlier. We're like, oh, well, Jeffrey would prey upon these women when they were underage, and then they would age out of Jeff Epstein's pedophilic interest, at which point he would then start to pass them around to his friends, and sort of like removing Trump from that whole like world and being like, he would just like be a pedophile and like rape these young girls, and then he would give them to his friends, and like that's fine apparently, like that's normal.
allowed.
That's allowed.
I do think you're throwing around that word pedophile a bit flippantly, because as Megyn Kelly points out in this clip,
here we go.
There's a specific definition for what kind of sex
the
predator
joke came
you are.
true. We knew they were going to do this, and they're doing it.
Yeah. So the libertarians are back on board, baby.
And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types.
The barely legal types.
Barely
10,
legal
11
doesn't mean 15, madam.
She means barely through.
No,
she means not
right.
legal. The word she's looking for is not actually. It could be maybe she's trying to say one word and she left off the prefix. But my goodness.
And also, if that's the best you got to defend this stuff, good luck to you.
He doesn't like children. He likes teenagers. It's totally different.
Well, actually.
I mean, like, so through all of these emails, we don't have some specific that we have seen specific incriminating, oh, this is the night he hooked up with this 13-year-old or whatever. But there have
raped the 13-year-old. Sorry, I have to.
He raped the 13-year-old. Maybe she was 14. That's what I was about to say. I was like, maybe in these emails we don't, but we do know that he did. She had a lawsuit. She was coming public with it in 2016 and was threatened and went into hiding. And it's just none of it should be shocking.
With all of these victims of Epstein, it is notable that only there's one. I mean, Donald Trump has been credibly accused of sexual assault by many, many, many women over 18. Women. Only
including his wife.
Yes, including his wife in a published book. And only
based off of a legal deposition. Sorry.
Only one Epstein victim or alleged Epstein victim says, Donald Trump was part of this sexual assault. Katie Johnson, not her real name, Jane Doe. That lawsuit is gone and it'll never come back, and that's it. And one would think that there is stuff in the files that have not been released that are not like communications with Epstein, that are interrogations or police interviews or something that would involve her. You would think that's the kind of thing that Trump is avoiding. And then there's the Michael Wolff thing of like, there's photos of him with teen girls with his like arm around them, which would probably look pretty bad given the kinds of girls that Epstein had around.
Yes. And the pants stain picture, stuff like that they've mentioned.
Yeah. So, but I don't think, to your point earlier, Katie, there's no plan on this stuff. Like Trump was on Truth Social yesterday doing the same thing. The Democrats are trying to bring up the Jeffrey Epstein hoax again because they'll do anything to deflect on how badly they've done on the shutdown. And then going into that. And then Republicans shouldn't fall into that trap. There should be no deflections to Epstein. So he's really trying to keep his people in line. It's the exact same thing he did before. And maybe it'll work now. But until people are confident that everything has been released and we know everything, this might fade this month again.
It will,
but it's not going to go away. And like
it's not going to go away.
Well, I have it here. He's minus 39 on handling of the Epstein case. Worse than he is on the economy by a significant margin. Minus 39.
Well, the economy's doing great, so that makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Job market's in an awesome place.
Yeah, that's what they say.
He's untrustworthy, but I have no reason not to trust him on whether or not the economy is doing well.
Well, he's a businessman, Katie.
He's like really,
He's
like
a
really smart.
businessman, and
like,
he's
got
good
the
at
brain.
deals.
5D chess.
He wrote a
all
book
of
about it. He
wrote a book
wrote
about it.
a book about it.
Sure, he did. What are these people? Are they illiterate? It's like deciphering your teenage boys' text messages. What are these people doing? The punctuation, the spelling, like.
I
what?
reread the emails that I send like 3-4 times. Just the ones I send to you guys. Like,
Right. Let alone, it's wild. Journalists, lawyers. Epstein himself does not seem to understand how to write a proper sentence or a word.
Larry
Shocking.
Summers.
It's very maddening. Yeah.
It's
Maybe
not
maybe
the most
disclose this
important
insight.
thing.
maybe we're all spending too much time on our emails, and if we didn't, we would be billionaires.
I just can't. I am.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's the trick.
And I people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I'm just going to get ahead of this right now. I'm not good at grammar and punctuation and spelling at all times. It keeps me up at night sometimes. I'll be like, why didn't I look at that
keeps you up at
email?
No,
No, I'm exaggerating. A lot of things. It
gotta
doesn't.
get over
the
that.
barrier to entry to keeping me up at night is very low. But what?
Did you read the Bill Clinton one? Where
No.
Epstein's like, Bill Clinton was never on my plane. I don't know what they're talking about.
He was really adamant about that one. Well, that's the
very
thing. Is, like,
strange.
we may be dealing with an unreliable narrator
what I was
here
gonna
as
say.
well, emailing his friends like all this stuff.
There's another email. He's like, that book is not mine. It was stolen from my home, but it's not mine. It's a really. There's 20,000 emails. I do wonder how much of them are true.
100%. I mean, it's the same thing when this happened, people, of course, were like, actually, Ghislaine was interviewed recently from her, like, no security prison that she's hanging out in.
Yeah, the guy massaging her feet asked her some questions.
And she answered them and, like, see, it's like, yeah, bro, she perjured herself.
Right.
Like, she's a liar. What are you talking about? She's a
She's
liar.
getting that shit commuted. She
It's
wants
like
out.
It's so obvious. Everything's so obvious all the time.
Yeah, like some of these punctuation things really drive me nuts because he does the boomer thing of ... everywhere. There's like every sentence ends with ... except he ends the sentence and then space, comma, another space, and then another sentence. And it,
What are
like,
you,
hurts
my
my brain.
mother?
I want to
I love you, Mom.
red underline on that.
Sorry for comparing you to Epstein, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mom. That'll never happen again. But
That's good. You'll never do that again.
a similar chaotic texting style at times.
We just have to be happy that he died before the Bitmoji released. Because could you imagine?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god. Oh my god.
We'd all be toast. Or just like before, like Epstein just emailing you about like someone you knew in high school. Do you remember Andrea Norton? I don't know, maybe. Well, she's a doctor now, and she moved down to Dana Point. Oh, Christ. Who cares? I don't know.
Here we go.
I don't know. She lives there for
Epstein
a reason.
bothering
Oh my
you
God.
about- yeah.
exactly. So thank you, Donald Trump, for strangling Jeff Epstein with your bare hands.
Thank you for saying the thing I was about to
Small
say.
hands.
You were gonna thank Trump for killing Epstein with his bare hands.
But I was gonna make an illusion of some sort. I was trying to figure out how to do it. Look, we can cut this or not. If there's one thing, you're right. We shouldn't. He could be a very unreliable narrator, and we don't know what other emails have. We don't know anything. He must be very well aware that his emails are going to get looked at this point in his life because he's already been in trouble, or could potentially. So maybe that's his own. But look, he died while President Trump was President Trump, and he has a lot of information on the guy. And I was reading through some of these. I was like, he's a problem that Donald Trump had to handle, potentially. Now, we can leave this in or we can cut it.
Well,
because this is all just me spinning my wheels.
It's
But
interesting that he was kind of gathering all this stuff that could be damaging to Trump in like financial stuff. He's like, look into the mortgage at Mar-a-Lago. He paid off the electricians union or something. His driver Matt was the bag man, stuff like that. Like, look into this deal, look into that deal. And a lot of this is back in like 2016, in a time when, maybe people thought that might matter.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. He's like, I've got this kind of dirt on Donald Trump. I'm not going to give up the dirt that also implicates me potentially.
Right, exactly.
So there's this balance of like, just in these emails, I don't know what we can expect to glean in terms of like a smoking gun.
Like, yeah, it's not like it's like a personal card that talks about how, like,
in the shape of a woman,
in the shape of like a very, very probably young woman, talking about like enigmas never age, like how they share like some sort of like secret they don't want people to know about. Like, it's not like that.
Like
that would be
like a wonderful secret, like
a wonderful
the
secret.
kind you have every day.
The kind you have every day with somebody, and it never ages, and it's with like your pedophile best friend.
That's what I keep coming back to. Like, whenever my mind is like, God, we've seen so much stuff already, and that's probably all there is to it. The what could be worse than the card? But then Trump has to start behaving in a certain way that makes me think, what the hell?
What's worse than the card? What could it be? What is it?
Or else you would not act this way. There's just no I mean, we've talked about this like 5 times, because every time this Epstein stuff comes up, he keeps acting this way.
He'd just start acting like not the guiltiest man in the world.
The 50-year mortgage idea didn't take hold the way he wanted. So, Jonathan, what did he come up with after that?
Well, Bill Pulte, who's his head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, and his job is basically to pull mortgage records of Democrats to try to get them in trouble. That's what he does.
I know, it's so funny.
And also, his grandfather was a super rich guy, and his dad's a super rich guy who tried to buy the property that Trump and Epstein were fighting over, whatever. Connecting dots here. So Bill Pulte tweets out, without any other details, we are actively evaluating portable mortgages, which means people aren't moving, people aren't buying new houses because they don't want to get a 7% mortgage rate when they have a 3% mortgage rate. I guess now it's like 6.1% or something. And so he's like, well, we're looking into you would be able to keep your current mortgage rate. That's great and all well and good. But again, that helps the people who already own homes that they bought like a decade ago. So the, 60 and up
does nothing for people that want to enter the real estate market.
Right. He knows who he's talking to.
This is so wild.
Like, who this does benefit is like everybody who they made fun of for being at the No Kings rally. Right? They're like, oh, they're all like 65 and they don't have any job. They like blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, so he's gonna help them with their mortgage or whatever. I don't know. Is this going over better than the 50-year mortgage idea that Trump floated?
I mean,
slightly.
I guess slightly, because it would help some people other than like 50-year mortgages, which appear to be just predatory. And subprime, I would say. But
like a little below prime, a little under prime.
And I also love that this week, seemingly for the first time, that Trump and the GOP, they're having meetings at the White House about what to do about healthcare. A decade after he enters the political arena, he's like, you guys, we need a plan.
We told him we had concepts of plans.
Yeah, and that was over a year ago.
Failing to bully John McCain to repeal Obamacare didn't work for the 80th time, so they're going to get together. They got a powwow. They're going to solve it.
And all of their ideas are just different variations of, instead of the subsidies for the ACA, we'll give people less money in more inconvenient ways. So Trump was like, we're just going to give you money. And then, so you don't have to give it to the insurance companies. You can just get your money to get better coverage from ... comma. But then other Republicans are like, well, we could create a health savings account, an HSA where the money goes and is placed and is rolled over year. And then other Republicans say, no, it has to be a flexible saving account, which is the same thing except less flexible, and the money disappears.
But they call it flexible.
They're just like, it's so wild. They're like going through this long list, and you have this like this group of Republicans who are like, sorry, it's not evil enough. We gotta make it so much worse for people. It's so
Republicans
funny.
Trying to craft policy, like they're really going through ideas on the whiteboard, is so cute. Like, we know you don't care about.
Well, they so rarely have to do it. Their entire
exactly,
platform is always just like your policy is bad, and now they've been in power for like a long enough time in one go that it's like fuck.
Right. It's like
we have to have ideas.
They've been all in on culture war stuff, and they're like slowly realizing, wait, the culture doesn't like healthcare. Like they don't like we actually do need to address this. And I've just seen so many people like on all these different ideas, so many like blue check Republican conservative influencer types just like go all in on like, we actually hate insurance companies. We got to get rid of insurance companies, sir. And it's so weird how they just, it is slowly morphed to this movement where like, we kind of, do we hate you? Do we hate you and like your class of people actually, and all the things that you support are actually hurting us? No. We love you, sir. We love you, sir.
It feels like at a certain point, if they've gone all the way around, it wouldn't take that much to get them on board with the just, we should run it and have a pool and give.
This is what I've been saying. I haven't been saying this, but I've thought about this a lot hearing people talk about this from a lot of conservative people. This is top of mind. Of course it is. It's top of mind for all of us. It's not just the left that cares very much about our broken healthcare system. But you just didn't hear the politicians talking about it. You're talking about voters complaining about it. And with the RFK and the merging, I was like, I don't know, Donald Trump just does whatever. If there's a world where this leads them into Medicare for all, wouldn't that be just a gas? Wouldn't that just be...
Right, well, that's trick them into doing it.
I'd certainly take it.
Well, the problem is, it wouldn't be Medicare for all; it would be Medicare for certain people. But also, they're not going to do that. It's just funny that, like, that's obviously where things culturally are headed and politically are headed, and what would help and what people want. But like, they can't say that. They're swirling around like, wait, insurance companies are actually bad, kind of. Like, what if we didn't have them? But they're never going to arrive at that final point. They're just going to sort of swim around and like, you're gonna have an account and you're gonna have money and it's gonna be good. And yeah, I don't know.
And I'm not glad. Look, I think the Democrats caved, etc. I'm like, what did we do? This 40-day shutdown, etc. Despite what Donald Trump wants to say about the timing of this Epstein release and how that is to distract from how badly the Democrats did in the shutdown, we all know the truth is that this hurt them and that people on the right are speaking up, saying, wait a minute. Throughout the campaign, that's something that I heard from multiple people here in my town was like, well, they can't get rid of Obamacare. It's like, it's not great, but it's what else do we have? That is it's universal that people believe this.
I would pitch that they just reinstitute the Affordable Credit Act subsidies that they took away and call it Trump Care and just rebrand it and have Trump sign the subsidies or whatever. And it's the same exact thing, except now he's doing it.
We still call it the Gulf of Mexico. Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
Try.
Win-win. He gets to feel good about himself, and people get to get their health insurance.
What if instead of health insurance, you asked ChatGPT about it?
Oh,
like what? How to like
if when you were
take off your own lesions or something?
Instead of going to the doctor, you just asked ChatGPT about it,
and then it tells you what to drink or eat, to solve it, and then just be like, okay, ChatGPT, how do I pay for this?
You guys know,
and then they'll recommend crimes to you, and it'll describe how to do the crimes, and some of it will be accurate, some will be inaccurate, and you'll do the crime poorly, and you'll go to prison, and then they'll give you healthcare that way.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. Right. You've nailed it.
So I wanted to. So they've. Trump is making a lot of grand gestures and throwing ideas out because they're flailing. He doesn't know what to do. Unpopular Epstein stuff, all the things we've talked about. He wants to give us checks. I don't know if they're dose checks or tariff checks or what kind of checks they want to give us, but they definitely want to give us checks now. And he's recently also gotten a lot of flack for his stance on H-1B visas, specifically students from China going to universities. And he got into it with Laura Ingraham. And at one point, she said, okay, but like you're saying we need these people and like we're not good enough to like go to school or whatever. How is that MAGA? And I really zeroed in on his response at the end of this, and I think it's relevant to what we've been talking about.
And don't forget, MAGA was my idea. MAGA was nobody else's idea. I know what MAGA wants better than anybody else, and MAGA wants to see our country thrive.
So I found that to be very, very interesting, because he knows that like there are all these other people trying to like go for the throne, and like the conversation is like, well, what happens when he dies? Who's gonna like be the leader of the MAGA movement? Who's gonna like, what does MAGA mean? Like there's this like civil war going on with the Republicans, and it's very clear he knows, oh, I'm dying. I'm unpopular.
Yeah, I mean, he talks about going to hell a lot.
Exactly. He's like, I need to get into heaven. I know I'm going to be gone soon. What's my legacy? What's this? What's this? And when she's like, but how is that MAGA? He's like, I am MAGA, actually. I know what it is. Nobody else knows what it is. You can tell that he's aware of the situation. And I just thought that was really
But he's also like, he's aware that he's less racist than the movement he's created. Even in that clip where he's like, MAGA doesn't want to stop people from coming into the country because it'd mess everything up.
They do.
And she's like, well, she's like, I would. I'm fine with that. It's like
that is what MAGA wants. A portion of it. It's gotten untenable for him.
It's him arguing with the movement that he has been like getting together and leading for so long, and they've been pushing him, he's been pushing them, and now he's at this point. He's like, wait a second, I thought like I was only a little fucked up. Like, what are we doing?
I thought we were mostly kidding.
Yeah.
And there is like a bit of a rift in MAGA right now, because he's talking about like these H-1B visas, and he doesn't want to deny the hundreds of thousands of Chinese students coming in. And Laura Ingraham, of course, is like, I would be fine with that. And most of MAGA is like, I would be fine with that. Isn't that what this is all about?
I thought that's what the point
was. Like the Stephen Miller stuff, isn't that what this is all about? And he's trying to do this balancing act, and he's trying to force his will on it, saying, no, MAGA's me. Laura Ingraham doesn't decide. Nick Fuentes doesn't decide. I'm the guy.
It's out of his control, or it's getting out of his control.
And I've been seeing, and I don't know if I have it, and it's just some random people saying it, like random weirdos, but they're saying, we're going to go far. You think once Trump is gone that you get it back, but actually you don't know what you've unleashed. We're going even farther.
Yeah,
Trump is the moderate option. You think? You think
your voice needs to be a little
much?
higher, a little like a child. You need to do a child's voice when you're saying that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Actually,
it doesn't really sound like Fuentes.
You are not prepared for our rage.
I think they think their ideas are popular, and that without Trump they're going to force it through. Like,
Elon Musk has made you think that your ideas are popular by buying the website and boosting you and replying to your little tweets, but it's not that popular. And I just think it's really interesting to see him be like, but I'm MAGA. He doesn't think about anything at the moment he's dead. He's like, I don't care what happens. MAGA can dissolve. I don't give a shit. They'll do whatever. This is about me. And
I also think it's about him right now feeling out of control. I think it's also about him saying, even beyond what happens after he dies, but in this moment of everybody being upset, the beast has grown bigger than him, and the different ideas, not necessarily competing, but all the yeses he said are coming to collect, and they're not happy with what they're seeing.
Yeah, all the factions have different ideas and opinions, and
he's so miserable. Like, he'd be so much happier not as the president. And I know we've said that probably on the show before, but like, he doesn't, like, he does, it's spinning out. There's like political factions. He doesn't want to, he's like, no, I'm in charge, and I don't know, everyone's mad at me. And it's like, he should have made a different TV show, I guess.
I know. He's
definitely should have
made
a different TV show.
I thought I was the star of the show.
Yeah.
I thought we were doing my show, but no, it's actually
So
real,
wait.
It's actually when you're the president of the United States, you got to make decisions.
You can kick off Roseanne and create a show called The Conners that runs for 7 seasons or whatever without me. You can't do that. But of course, Trump, there's like J.D. Vance is not John Goodman, right? They don't have a John Goodman that everyone likes and will continue to watch.
Exactly. There's
him.
nobody in the wings for them. It's all just unpleasantness from like all the way down.
Okay, we did it. We've arrived at the end of our show. Ella, thank you so much for joining us this week. Please tell our audience us how to find you, where to find you, if they don't already know?
Yeah, I'm Ella Yerman on all of the best and brightest social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, I guess. Are people doing that one still?
Sometimes.
Every couple weeks.
Yeah. And then you can find my show, Going Down with Ella Yerman. Also, it's Going Down TV on Twitter and Instagram, and Going Down on YouTube and Patreon and stuff. Yeah, we're wrapping up for the year, I think, after next week, but we'll be back next year. It's a talk show-y thing in front of a live studio audience. It drains all of my energy
it's a lot
all
of
the
work.
time, but it's so much fun.
It's also rewarding, but
rewarding.
Yeah. You guys get it. You guys get it probably more than anyone else in the world.
Adding in
the
live
audience show,
part.
like it's
oh my god, it's exhausting. Yeah.
Well, we're proud of you and impressed by you and grateful you took time to join us today, and we'll have you back on again. And also like and subscribe. Hey.
Yeah.
I said it eventually.
Yeah.
Supposed to say it up top, but I said it here.
Yeah.
And also
like and subscribe.
We love you very much.
Like and subscribe much.
Mwah. This ad is brought to you by Vive Healthcare, the makers of Apretude, cabotegravir. You never skip your SPF, and you carry hand sanitizer like an accessory. But what are you doing for HIV prevention? One way to help protect yourself from HIV is Apretude, a prescription medicine used to reduce the risk of getting HIV in adults and adolescents weighing at least 77 pounds. You must be HIV negative to receive Apretude and get tested before each injection. If you think you were exposed to HIV or have flu-like symptoms, tell your doctor right away. More HIV testing may be needed. Apretude does not prevent other sexually transmitted infections. Practice safer sex to reduce your risk. Get Apretude as scheduled. Missing doses increases your HIV risk. Don't take Apretude if allergic to it or taking certain medicines that may interact. Tell your doctor about your medical conditions, liver problems, and mental health. Serious side effects include allergic reactions or rash, liver problems, and depression. If these occur, get medical help right away. The most common side effect is injection site reaction. Bring your A game and talk to your doctor. Learn more at apretude.com or call 1-888-240-0340.